Hi guys, I welcome you once more again to AB Math Education, our YouTube channel. Today we continue to solve this EmSAT, and today we are looking at quadratic equation, how you can able to solve it. There's a lot of ways that you can solve this quadratic. The multiple choice should actually tell you which way you're supposed to do it. Our first question is here, and this one, as you look at the multiple choice, you see a square root in there. So it will be best for you to use the quadratic formula, and everybody's supposed to know the quadratic formula. You have to memorize it as you're taking your EmSAT. X is equals to negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, or divided by 2a. You get your ABC from the standard. A standard form of a quadratic have to be equals to y is equals to ax squared plus bx plus c. So you could see that the question is not in a standard. All of them have to be one side and maybe 0 at the other side. So here we got to bring the 9 over. So for us to make it a standard, it have to be y squared minus 3y minus 9 equals to 0. This is the first thing that you have to do so that you can get your ABC. Most of the time, we the teachers, we use the X, so students will be a little bit confused. How do we get the Y? But it doesn't matter, it's just a variable, using it to represent something. There is no number here, so you can put 1 over there. Implies that A is equals to 1, B is equals to the coefficient of that, so negative 3, and C is equals to negative 9. You need to set this one right. If you don't set it right, you're going to get an answer that might be wrong. And now, this is what I've been telling my student. You do this one first. The b squared minus 4ac, that's what we call the discriminant. If you do that pieces first, it helps you a lot. So if you want, you can do that. If you don't want, you can take all out along and then you will get the answer. But if you do the b squared, so b squared minus 4ac first, that will help. So our b is negative 3. So negative 3, make sure you put a parenthesis around it or bracket. And our a was 1, we multiply. And our c was negative 9. Here, it means negative 3 times negative 3, which is going to be positive 9. Negative here, their multiply is also going to be positive. And 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 9 is going to be 36. And when you put it together, you're going to get 45. So you see, now you have your b squared minus 4ac to be 45. So when we get there, we are plugging everything into the equation. So here, since it's y, we are going to say y is equals to the b is negative, but the formula already get negative, so that minus and then negative 3 plus or minus the whole of this b squared, we get 45, so it's going to be square root of 45 divided by 2 times 1. Cos A is 1. We do that, negative times negative become positive, plus or minus square root of 45. So I have talked about the perfect square. Since this is a square root, we have to break it down. We don't see any 45 here, so we have to break it down. We start from the perfect square. So we see that 25 cannot go over here. So come down, 16 cannot go over there. You come down 9. That's the next, as we are moving highest. 9. 9 times 5 is 45. Divided by 2 times 1 is 2. That's what we are bringing in here. Y is equals to 3 plus or minus. Here you can split it as square root of 9 times square root of 5. All of them divided by 2. I want you to see the picture. That's the reason why I'm doing this step. 3 plus or minus. Square root of 9 is 3. And then it's multiplying. So multiplying is, if I don't put anything there, it means multiplication. Square root of 5 and all divided by 2. And at this point, you check if the answer is in there. Yes, I can see the answer here as C. So you get your answer right there. Let's look at the next question here. Is exponential equation and then coupled with a quadratic. So first of all, you need to know your exponential equation. If you're from the US session, if you're from the UK, they call it indicial equation. All means the same. What we know is that if we have, say, a to the power m and is equals to a to the power n, since the bases are the same, that implies that m is equals to n, is the laws of exponent. So we have to do that. So here we see 2 here and we see 4 here. We know that 2 can go into 4. 4 is the same as 2 squared. So 4 is the same as 2 squared. So when we come here, we're going to replace that. So this implies that we're going to have 2 squared, but it's already this one, the exponent is over there. So it's multiplying x squared plus 4x equals to 2 to the power negative 6. Okay. You can say that since it's 2, this is 2. This means that we can equate the exponents. So it implies that 2x squared plus 4x is equals to negative 6. Even at this point, we want to solve for x because we are supposed to solve, get a solution. That means we're supposed to solve. So we can divide both sides by 2 to get rid of this 10 into 1. And then we get x squared plus 4x is equals to negative 3. So since the highest exponent is 2, that means it's a quadratic. And we want to solve the quadratic, we can bring this one here. We're going to bring this one over here. And when it comes over here, that means we want to make it so we are adding, so it becomes positive. That is equals to 0. At this point, the way we solve the question number 1, we can use the same way to solve it. But this one is kind of a little easier. We don't need a quadratic formula. There's a lot of ways of solving a quadratic equation. This one seems to be, it's easy for us to do the factoring, so we can use the factoring method. This is x squared. We split this x here. We are looking for 2 factors that will multiply. So that will multiply and get 3. And when we add, we're supposed to get 4. So what number is that? The factors of 3 is 1 and 3. 1 and 3. And when we add, indeed, we get 4. So 1 and 3 will satisfy. So here plus 1 and here plus 3. It's positive, so that's the reason why I put plus 1 plus 3. Okay, at this moment we are almost done. Once we are here, this is the factors. The question asks us for the solution. Solution means we have to solve for the zeros. So the opposite of the factors is the solution. So this implies that x is equals to negative 1 and x is equals to negative 3 are the solutions. Okay, so for the solution set, we are going to write it as this. So the first number, which is negative 1, negative 3, are the solution sets of that. Okay, so you can also go ahead and try using the quadratic formula. You will get the same answer, but that's going to take you a little longer. So always try to use the shortest possible way. The SAT, which is a US type, the SAT and the international SATs, they like this kind of question. I have solved tons of work on this. So I'm going to attach the link study and study and get all the understanding that you need for when it comes to quadratic. Thank you for sticking with me all the way to the end. Please, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.